Man, you guys came through! Past week was so hectic I barely had the time to prepare this video. But still, I didn't want to just disappear on you, so a lot of sleep was traded for those extra work hours. Also, this being the GDC week didn't help at all. Before we begin, I just want to give a heads up that I'll be answering some of the most popular questions you've posted right at the end of this video. Now let's get straight to business. First item on my task list this week was to diversify the roster of objects you have the ability to spawn around the level, for some reason. Mattresses are cool and all, but before it got too boring, I thought why not add a wooden pallet, and a piece of torn out concrete wall, and a cast iron bathtub, and a table, a street bench, tractor tire. I also thought, of course it would be fun if you could select which object to use, but then again, what if you couldn't? And made it random every time you use the ability. Least of all, I want the game to take itself seriously, so any random gameplay mechanic can turn up at any time. But I hope trying to operate in a fun-first mindset will allow me to stumble on a few more unique mechanics, which will set this game even more apart from any other in the genre. Besides having different shapes, all of the objects have different physical properties. That all adds to the skill-fortune balance I was talking in my previous video. What game in our day and age can go wrong with portals? This was another thing that gave me a bit of a headache, but a few Google searches later I figured out the vector math behind it. And hey, now we're thinking with portholes. I'm also working on making the ball really feel like it can make a statement, despite being this small. If nothing else, I want this game to be a sandbox of really advanced physics, so that no one match, no one swing of the ball would ever be the same. Real-time local multiplayer is also coming along nicely. I'm starting to have all kinds of ideas for game modes and levels you could compete with your buddies. But I also would love to implement a co-op mode. I've always loved working together with my friends better than competing. So this is something I'm trying to figure out for a while now. Any thoughts and ideas on co-op experience will be greatly appreciated. There was a lot of interest and discussion around the implementation of air resistance physics. Reading all those comments got me grinning, and I decided to update the presentation with motion trail to better demonstrate what's happening. I know the movement might seem a bit too exaggerated, and that's because it is. There's little excitement in watching a sheet of whatever this is supposed to be wobbling slightly. It is not as relevant for gameplay as other things, so I'm just eyeballing this for now. More tests and gameplay with in-game objects are coming soon. And I have to cut it short right here, people. This past week was absolutely bonkers. I never expected to have such a response from you guys. Thank you all for your thoughtful and heartwarming comments. I try to answer them all, but with each passing day it becomes impossible. In fact, this is the reason why this week's devlog is so short. I was literally spending full working days when the video started picking up to answer all the questions I was receiving. Okay, the most popular question, by a landslide, was regarding how I track time and made those graphs at the end of the video. To be honest, that first part is so simple you're gonna laugh. I just use my notes app. I go in there multiple times a day and log in the time I spent productively. Having some kind of formatting helps to do it much faster. Now that I think about it, this might be the very reason why it works so well, for me at least. It is so stupidly simple. In 1.5 years I've never missed a log an hour. By the way, this is the Bear app I was mentioning. Onto the graphs now. Again, no big secret here. When I'm done with the month, I go through my notes and enter all the hours in the Google Sheets document. Then I use Data Studio, another Google free web app, to take all that information and convert it to any kind of graph and chart. That's all. Yes, I'm Russian. No, I don't live in Russia. And in fact, I never lived there. I was born in Latvia and spent my whole life here. There were two types of clouds shown in my video. The volumetric ones were made using an asset from the Unity store called Fog Volume 3, and the ones I use now were made in Amplify Shader Editor, another awesome asset from the Unity store. Just the best 3D software there is. Blender. Jokes aside, in the past I have worked extensively with 3D Studio Max, Maya and Modo, but going indie I decided to try out free options and found out Blender's such a joy to use every time that I stuck with it. If you have any feedback or suggestions on how this game can be made more fun or what to try out, don't hesitate to comment below or in the Discord server. Thank you all for watching, have a great week and keep on being dedicated.